Hi, we're continuing looking at marine creatures, and the animal we're going to do today is the orca. What I want to teach you is how to create a wet on wet paint effect. So I'm using a pencil for my drawing. I'm going to use two crayons, a white and a black, a marker for my main lines, and I'm going to use blue watercolour paint. Okay, so the animal I'm doing is the orca. Here's another thing, I've got paper underneath this so my marker doesn't go through onto the table. So I'm going to draw a line, this sort of shape, from end to end, and when I get to here, here's the tip of my tail. Okay, back to the nose. This time I'm coming around and narrowing it down to the tail. And I'm going to do 1, 2 fins. This is where the main dorsal fin is. And every single orca has its own unique shape. Okay, there's the first of the white spots, and this is the white throat patch. Now the eye is about here. Okay, let's keep that white throat patch going down to where the fin is. Now the other side comes up. When you see the dorsal fin, start going back up into a patch and then continue it. I'm going to put a little white circle on the bottom of the tail just behind the dorsal fin. I'm going to do a saddle. Okay, now I'm ready to do my main marker lines. And this is why I've got paper underneath. I'm not too worried about erasing, so I'm going to go over it with a marker. With crayon or pastels. Okay, the eye, I'm going to put a little reflection in. I'm doing that with marker. The second fin needs to look like it's going behind, so I'm going to do some hatching on it. And when I go over it with white pastel, it should turn into a grey. Okay, now because it would be bad if I was to get black mixed up with my white, I'm going to do the white circles first. So it's probably a bit hard to see on video, but you have to take my word for it, the white is actually there. And the reason I'm doing it and not leaving the paper white is because oil and water don't mix, and I'm actually going to paint it after. I don't need to erase that line because I'm going to go over it in black crayon. I'm pretty sure you won't see it anyway. Okay, let's see if my theory is correct. Going over this. Perfect, that's exactly what I wanted, a grey colour so it stands out. Okay, now I'm ready. Where I've missed my lines, I might as well erase them. Okay, I'm ready for black crayon. Might just pause the video so you're not watching me colour in the whole thing. through the magic of video, I've almost coloured in the whole thing. Keep in mind that if you're doing curved forms, if you keep your strokes in the same direction you're trying to suggest, it's going to make it a lot more realistic and convincing. It doesn't matter if there's little scratchy patches showing in between. That's good because that's where your paint will find bits to stick to. So we have an Orca. That's pretty cool. In fact, it's so cool, I'm going to write my name on it, and I'm ready for the next stage, which is to do a really subtle wet on wet paint effect. So I'm going to use only blue. I've got my nice big brush, and what I'm going to do is wet the entire paper before I put paint on it. If you feel like cheating, you might want to steal your mum's spray bottle that she uses for ironing. So we're wetting the whole paper, including where the Orca is, straight over the top of him. I might just pause the video so you don't watch me wetting the whole page. Okay, so now my whole page is super wet. I've got a nice wet paint palette. What I'm doing is wavy lines. And see how it's already really wet? It starts blurring into these blending effects. That's the beauty of this wet on wet technique. You get these beautiful blurred edges. So I'm just trying to suggest the ocean as if it's underwater. Just continuing to do these lines. So the material is working for you and creating a special effect. So it'll settle into its own pattern. I hope you like it, and I hope you think it's a really cool trick that you might start trying to do. I'll attach a PowerPoint to help you see what an Orca looks like. And there we have it. Wet on wet technique using crayon and watercolour paint. The Orca.